Hey guys, Guardian Draco here, trying to get a quick little video out about Guardian Tales raid heroes. Basically, which are the best raid heroes in Guardian Tales. Now, this was kind of hard, so I'm going to just be doing 3 tiers. So instead of breaking it up into like a bunch of tiers, I'm only going to do 3. And it's going to be must-have units, right? And then you're going to have good units, which are kind of like must-have units, but they're not as good, so, you know, they're just good units. Then it's going to be situational units, which means units that are only good usually in a mono team, basically. Other than that, they're not that great. So this is just based off my experience, and I haven't gotten to test out every single unit and max them out or anything. So this will change in the future, and take it with a grain of salt. It always depends on what you have built up and what you can do with what you have. Let's begin. And by the way, if you disagree with anything, leave a comment down below. First, let's see, Captain Idol Captain Eva. Situational. I think she's good in a mono basic team. Other than that, I don't think she's that great. So I'm gonna put her there. Plitvice, she might be a good unit, but I'm gonna put her situational for a mono fire team. I don't think her damage is good enough to put her into good units. Arabelle, same as Plitvice, but she's got more damage. And she's ranged, which makes it easier for her to output that damage. So I'm gonna put her in good units. Bari. She has a lot of damage. Otherwise, she'd be a situational unit. So I'm gonna leave her here. If you have her and you've worked on her, she's a good unit. Otherwise, situational. I'm gonna leave her here anyways. Eugene is S tier must have in my opinion, because her party buff puts her into any melee team. Switch out her weapon to fit the right boss that you're fighting. So if you want to put her into a dark team, give her a dark weapon, and even though she's being countered, she'll be very useful, and she will hold her own as much as she can before she dies. So hopefully you have her well built so she won't die very quick. Tinia, also S tier must have. Her range damage buff makes her great with any range team. Just switch her bow. I've got her in a water team on one of my accounts, and she does great damage, so I like her. Nari, also S tier, switch her bead. I've also got her in the water team in one of my accounts with a water bead, and she's putting out the numbers. Alright, she's pretty good. I like her. She fits into any range team. Great unit. Bianca, her party buff, good. Her special ability, good. But you know, she's not quite a must-have. So she's a good unit, does good numbers. Garum is basically in the same situation as Arabelle. Good unit, good numbers, should be situational, but hella good numbers. So he goes up there with good units and with Arabelle. This one, Beth, I mean, she's basically like Eugene. Same party buff. She is better in a dark team, but like Eugene, she will work in other teams. Just give her the right weapon and she's good to go. You can put her in a fire team, a light team, a mono basic team, whatever. She's good to go. Just give her the right weapons, and as long as it's a melee team, she's good. Boom. Rue is situational because her party buff is only for earth teams, and her special abilities and such are, you know, not that great for extra damage. I haven't tested her fully, so I don't know. Maybe she herself just outputs massive numbers. I've seen her in arena kicking butt. I've heard she's pretty good in Coliseum too, so it's like not a bad unit, but I'm gonna put her in situational. Now, Lynn with Beth and Eugene, she does the same thing. You already know the drill. Give her the right weapon, put her into a melee team. She's gonna kick butt and drop some numbers. Right here. This unit, Gabriel, might belong here for some people. For me, I'm gonna put her in good units. She's pretty good. Her crit buff works for a lot of different units. She also has a debuff for light, so the enemy takes more light damage. Yeah, good unit. Some people would put her in must-have. I don't think anyone would put her in situational. She does good damage. Future Knight, good unit, good damage. Her party buff, I don't know how much extra damage that, what is it, 30% weapon skill regen. I don't know how much extra damage that's going to contribute, but good unit. I don't know if it's a must-have for basic element parties, but good unit nonetheless. Does good damage numbers. I like her. This one's complicated because it could be here for some people, could be here for others. It's here for me. I'm sorry, not a fan. I heard some bad things. I think when she pops off and manages to buff everyone and everything goes great with her, she's up here. Her damage is amazing. She's still expensive, so maybe you can push her down here, you know, because like it's a rare unit, kind of expensive, But for me, just in case, I mean, I've heard you could replace her with Coco, and unless, you know, if you have her and she's doing perfectly, then, you know, Coco is nothing to her. But if she messes up, Coco can actually keep up and she's cheaper. So Coco goes up here. For some people, she might deserve to go here, but I'm going to put her here. I'm going to just leave her there. Coco, basically like Tinia and Nari, except a little less damage. So she goes down here. And her party buff is not as good. So yeah, she goes here. Knight, put him into a mono team, mono basic team with Eva and such. He's really good. In a ranged team, you can give him a ranged mono, my bad, not mono, a basic weapon, and he's good to go, right? Fits into the team perfectly. In a melee team, do the same. Give him a two-handed sword or something, he's good to go. Elvira, she goes right here. Very useful, lots of people like her. Her party buff is great. Her passive is great. As long as she's higher level than the enemy or on the same level, she's going to be getting an extra 10%. And if she's like, let's say, 6 levels ahead of the enemy, that's an extra 70% damage increase. Jeez, got lost for a second. So Elvira, pretty good. I think she falls off. The more developed your account becomes, as you start getting stronger and stronger units, she kind of starts to fall off, right? So if you have Tinia, you have Nari, you have, who else would you even have? Coco. I guess Elvira starts to fall off. But early game, Elvira, great raid unit. Mid game as well. It's just late game, she falls off to other units. And as more uniques come out, she might fall off even more. I mean, basically everywhere here was going to fall off. So I'm going to put her here. Good unit. Right here. Karina, situational. Great in a mono dark team. Not so great otherwise. I don't even want to say decent. She's just not so great otherwise. Beast. You never see the Beast being used, but you know, he's a beast in a mono water team. Other than that, he's not going to get much use. I don't see many people at all using him. So yeah, he's going to stay there. Aoba. I've seen some people use her mostly because they die without her. So, but she's good in a Earth team. Other than that, not that great. Rachel. Rachel. She might belong here. Her party buff is great. That's about it, you know. She does decent damage, but I'm gonna put her here. I'm gonna just leave her there. Her party buff is really good in any range team, so I'm gonna leave her there. Gremory. She's a go-to. Would belong here if she had a bit more damage. I haven't fully tested her, so who knows? Maybe her damage is insane, but I haven't fully tested her. I'm gonna put her in good unit for now. If she was a unique version of herself, for sure she'd be S tier must have. But no, sorry. Also, if she had, heck, if she just had a party buff that gave plus 50% range damage or something like that, boom. But no. I don't like skill, what is it, skill damage party buffs, because I'm not exactly sure how much damage they end up providing to the team. So, good unit. Hecate. I want to put her here. I don't have enough experience on her, so for me, she feels like she belongs here. You know, I'm going to leave her here. I don't have enough experience with her, so I'm going to put her as situational for mono earth teams. You guys might disagree and put her here, but yeah, for me, I'm going to put her there. Marianne, great for earth teams again. Not that great for anything else. Akayuki, she is a beast. If she had a unique version, she would be going up here. So the thing with Akayuki is insane damage, extra 25% damage to bosses, and a crit buff. So she's a crit party buff, so she's good with melee teams and even some range teams. You know, if you gotta do what you gotta do, you put her in. She's good. Boom, right here. Aisha, solid unit. I've seen her work with ranged and melee units. It's just her buff. If you have her weapon, she buffs her units. If you don't have her weapon, she also has another buff to give to her units. I think her unique buff, or my bad, her special ability is also another buff. She gives a lot of buffs, which give a lot of extra damage to the team. And she also makes them a little tankier so they can survive a little better in raid. So you know what? She's a good unit. Good unit to have. I've seen people do good numbers with her. Shapira. I was about to call her Aisha. Shapira. I don't know why I haven't seen her that much. Maybe I guess it's because there's a pretty good dark team already with... I did not bring Lupina. No wonder I was missing someone. Either way, Lupina, if she was here, she'd go in the good units, okay? So just letting you know, Lupina, good units. She does belong here, and she belongs in the good unit. Anyways, Shapira, yeah, her special ability plus 30% attack whenever she hits or whenever she's hit or something like that. And her party buff is plus 48% melee damage. So in a melee team, I don't get why people won't use her. She's really good, especially with, like, let's say Beth, and then you got Shapira, and then you have Arabelle, and then you have who's that other unit? Oh yeah, Lupina. Again, I forgot to put her here, so yeah, she's good. I like her. Good unit. Amy, Amy's complicated. I want to put her here, but her party buff is melee plus 48, just like Shapira. Her special ability would be amazing, but it's on kill, so she has to kill someone before she gets the plus 30% damage buff. So yeah, but you know, if you got her, she's still a good unit. I'd go for it. She's cool. Yeah, maybe she belongs here, but I'm gonna put her here. Neva is a light boost, so she definitely goes here. In a light team, she's obviously gonna be good. And if you don't have a light team, then she's obviously not gonna be great. Boom, right here. How do you say her name? R-I-E. I'm not exactly sure how you say her name, but crit buff for the party buff, it's plus 30% crit, or I think it was plus 33%, so that's surprising. She's pretty good. Once she gets off her chain skill, she does extra damage. Well, she attacks faster, which means extra damage, so pretty good. She's a good unit. Now, something you gotta know is that the situational units, you might not even need them, because you could, if you have the good units and you have the must-have units. I'm missing Lupina. Maybe I might be missing another one. I don't think so, but maybe. Anyways, if you have these must-have units and some good units, you kind of don't need the situational ones, because you can just kind of switch their weapons. For example, you give these three right here any element, and you just put them into a melee team together, and they're good to go. And then these two right here, you give them any element, put them into a ranged team, and they're good to go. Especially you put, what's her name, Arabelle up in front, and you give these two a dark weapon, right? Dark bow, dark basket, and then Gremory, and boom, you got yourself a dark range team. So you might not need the situational teams. Situational teams is mostly like if you have them and you want to put some resources into them, go for it. So I obviously left some units out of here. Lupina, she was accidental. She should be here. She's a good unit, A tier. But the other units that I left out, I left them out intentionally because their party buffs, or basically all their buffs, made them either tankier, healthier, and just they didn't provide extra damage, or they weren't used for in raid, so I left them out. Obviously, if you have them, like for example, I have Vishuvac. She gives HP, nothing really damage oriented, but I have her maximum broken and I have her weapon maximum broken. So with that kind of damage, I gotta use her in my fire team until I get Lynn. You know, once I get Lynn, it's over. She's out. But yeah, obviously your team is going to depend on what you have, but this is just my ideas or my thoughts on which are the best units right now. Obviously this will change as I get more experience with the units and new things come up in the game and so on, new units, etc. But anyways, hope you guys found this useful. If you disagree with me on anything, please leave a comment down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing. And that's it for this video. Bye bye.